Yo, what's going on? Welcome to game number 4 of the Battle for Brazil. This is Killer B. Yeah, I know that title sucks. I know. But hey, it is what it is. We got to call this set of games something. Right now, we've got two of the top Brazilian players. Not necessarily the two very top players, but definitely guys who are in the argument. Going at it one-on-one. This is game number 4. Spoiler alert coming in 5 seconds. So you have time to switch to the previous video if you don't want a spoiler. So right now the series is 2 games for Miguel to 1 game for Fire. This is the last game of the set. Fire will have an opportunity to tie it up. Miguel will have an opportunity to go 3-1. Aztecs v. Aztecs War on Arabia. Aztecs War is actually, it's interesting. It's not as multi-dimensional as some civs because you don't get cavalry, but these wars can be kind of fun. Tactical decisions are important. Imperial Age Eagles are usually a good way to finish the game, but you can't just, rush to Imperial Age. You leave yourself exposed. Anyway, for the moment, we'll work our way through this game. We'll keep an eye on villagers going over to wood. Yeah, you get free loom with the Aztecs, so it's not uncommon to go with the 5 militia drush. Quickly into the Castle Age, you do have to build some crossbows to keep your opponent honest, I suppose, would be the word. But yeah, eventually, maybe we'll see some eagles this game. For now, we will wait and see how this goes. Fire playing in the blue trunks, Miguel playing in the red. Yeah, game number 4 of the set. A couple of really nice games, really clean games in the early part of the series from Fire. Miguel might have his number, though, right now. Might be a little bit in his opponent's head. All right, Fourville's going over to wood. No big surprise there. Blue player thinking about potentially drushing. Deer patch on the back should be interesting. Boar lure should be fine since you get the free loom. Backstone for Fire. He's got some ability to block in some of this map, but again, the front area of his map is really wide open. Gold pile out here on the front next to the stone. He's going to have to find a way to protect this edge of the map. All of his resources are clustered there. Wood, gold, and stone. So we'll see how he goes about doing that. But yeah, for now, I'd give it a B minus. It's a B minus map. Not great, but not the worst map I've ever seen. Anyway, Miguel will have 4 on wood as well. Looks like he can leave the option open to drush if he wishes. Looks like Miguel will have a pretty nice map. Could do a little bit of walling there and block in the back flank. Nice back gold here. This ridge line is a double-edged sword. If he controls it, he's going to be in great shape. If his opponent controls it, he's going to be really angry. Easy to wall across the front here. Main gold on the front, stone on the front. Yeah, the front is wide open. Really, both of these players dealing with a map that is very open on the front. Both flanks pretty closable for both guys. But the front area is going to be, that's where you're going to make your money in this game. Okay, so for the moment, we've got Miguel coming forward. Fire's done some pretty extensive scouting. He's going to be forward first. He's getting a really good idea of what his opponent's working with. He's found that back gold. He found the boar. These players aren't laming each other in this series, so no big surprise that he didn't try to steal the boar. But of course, it's very easy to do with your eagle. Maybe if they didn't like each other so much, you could grab a boar there. Anyway, eagle from Miguel coming forward, circling around, finding the wood line, and that is pretty much all there is to say about this game in the Dark Age. So, we will work our way through it at an elevated pace. Barracks coming down for Miguel. Looks like he's going to try to wall maybe across here to the stone. I don't know. It's going to be a lot of work. But nonetheless, if he can get it done, he'll have a really nice, safe gold there on the front. We will see if that's possible. Fire's walling toward the TC on his side. Maybe he'll block in this area as well. But yeah, the barracks coming down for both guys. Barracks and drush coming inevitably. It is an Aztecs war after all. Looks like Fire will go ahead and walk out to this side to drop something. Yeah, he's going to drop some houses and palisades and block in that flank. Cool. So, that's the way it goes early on in a game of AOC. You're just thinking about how to best protect your resources. And these guys seem to be in pretty good shape to do so. Militia are going to come out. We are going to see maybe a drush on drush. A couple of players just whacking away at each other with maybe the weakest unit in the game. But it should be interesting nonetheless. Any idle time you can get from your opponent can give you a big upper hand. Ooh, Fire will push in a couple of deer, or a deer for now with his eagle. It looks like Miguel is on the front killing a few wolves. His eagle is forward as well. And we're going to see 4 militia and an eagle, probably soon a 5th. Yeah, it's going to be 5 militia for both players. Eagle warriors are involved. HP on those guys is absolutely tip-top. So here we go. Let's get it on. 5v5 militia drush off. Yeah, it's hard to win this decisively enough to really call it a win. But maybe if you have a militia and a half alive at the end of this fight, you can still go and be annoying. Or go and do some scouting, I suppose. Okay, Miguel will cling to the hill. Fire has scouted the map pretty nicely. He knows where Miguel's at. Miguel is going to just hang out on that hill for a moment. Try to get a couple of good downhill shots in if he can. Oh boy, Miguel's eagle's out of position, which is a little bit not good for him. Oh boy, Miguel here is going to go into the fight. Basically 5 on 6, and that's going to give Fire a really big bonus. But in the end, we're going to see similar total numbers left. We're actually going to see Miguel leave there with 3 militia alive. 3 militia, the higher HP eagle is for the blue player. He's going to try to run in and poke away, but in the end, we will see, interestingly, we'll see Miguel win rather decisively. So Miguel's eagle came to the party late, but he did do enough damage to get the job done. And for now, we'll see 2 militia and an eagle roaming around looking for somewhere to do some damage. Fire will garrison his eagle, allow it to heal up a little bit, and maybe send it back out into the fray. Red player here is not really that scary. Running in on villagers with units that are this weak is not really going to do much. But nonetheless, Miguel, with an advantage here, is going to take those units, continue to scout around the map, wait for his time to strike, and yeah, try to idle his opponent a little bit if he can. He's going to immediately go in and basically take on a Vil. She decided not to turn and fight. Looks like for now we will see villagers retreating. A little bit of idle time, a little bit of annoyance. Red player walling himself in. Nice distractory drush. By the time that Fire cleans that drush up, Miguel's probably going to be walled in pretty fully. He's still got a big stretch to do here. But the top is done. The right corner of the map will soon be done. And we'll see how this goes. Miguel can try to fast castle if he wants to on the backs of this, but you never know. Double ranges, oh no, range and blacksmith coming for Fire as we speak. Miguel on the other side will drop a range for now, and that's going to be it. Range blacksmith as well. Okay, so we will see some archers with +1 damage rolling out here soon. The drush is still alive. Miguel's still trying to annoy as much as he can. Fire's eagle has to be healed up halfway by now. Halfway healed up for the moment. Castle Age coming for Fire, so he will go quickly to the Castle Age. Miguel will not be that far behind. Miguel will not be the first one to click up, but he will get in a little bit more damage and annoyance with those militia. Doing a great job with his drush here to just keep running in, stabbing at villagers, keeping them from working, idling a lot of economy. But in the end, Fire will come back with that healed up eagle and basically knock all of those units down. So a minor advantage here early on for Miguel, that he got in a little bit of annoyance and a little bit of damage on his opponent. But in the end, Fire will be up to castle a little bit sooner, albeit with 1 less villager than his opponent. So it's pretty much all equal here. All's fair in love and war. Fire does have an eagle warrior alive, which he can scout around the map with. I would call that an advantage. It's a nice thing to have. Double range archers coming from the red player. Double range archers inevitably coming for the blue player as well. Okay, so you do need to be able to build double range archers in an Aztecs war. You definitely need to have some units to fight with during the Castle Age, and you know your opponent's almost always going to be going with the crossbows as well. Looks like Fire unfortunately throwing away his advantage there, that extra eagle. But yeah, +1 damage archers, soon to be crossbows for Miguel. Fire's going to have crossbowmen on the way as well. Bodkin arrow, bow saw, you know the drill. You know how this goes. But yeah, you can't just free boom and try to get your way to imp. You do have to keep your opponent honest with a bit of a military. And nothing wrong with some crossbows for the Aztecs. Nothing wrong with that, man. For the moment, the blue player trying to wall up the back flank as best he can. Yeah, he's relatively safe here. These palisades are pretty weak. That would be really bad for him if Miguel pushed in through that side of the eco. But at least for now, he's done a pretty good job to protect a pretty mediocre map. Both guys hanging out back at home, waiting for their opponent to potentially come in and raid. Both guys clinging to a hill for now. Double ranges for both players. Town center coming for Miguel as we speak. Fire is not adding a TC just yet. So the blue player for now will be operating on one town center. One TC. Interesting. We'll see how that pans out here as the game continues. Miguel will divert some of his resources into a second TC. Miguel's somewhat safe. He's just palisaded up, though, so if fire comes forward with a big group of crossbows, he's going to get in here pretty darn quick. Miguel's going to take some deer there on the front, continue to work his way through the castle age here. Still going to hang on to that gold pile in the back for a rainy day. All in all, a pretty good start for Miguel, but man, we'll see. We'll see how the engagement goes. We will see how the engagement goes. Miguel's just going to go ahead and X that hill where Fire's units are. Maybe just saying, hey man, I know where you're at. At the moment, +3 military for Miguel, which is pretty surprising since he's built 2 TCs. Fire back at home is just now adding in a second. He'll be a couple villagers behind. Looks like 5 villagers behind as we continue to work our way through. Wheelbarrow also coming for Fire, though, a little earlier than his opponent. So maybe it's not quite a 6 villager advantage at the moment. Red player is going to walk up to the top here and push through this palisade. Fire's going to let him do it. Interesting. Okay, Fire's going to let him go for a moment. Maybe some secondary walling. Lots of villagers having to come off of the gold pile, though, to build these extra houses. Granted, it's going to do a great job to keep that army busy. It's going to allow Fire to counterattack, but he will lose a bit of his gold pile for now. Gold eco a little bit stymied for the moment. Blue player coming forward to try to go tit for tat here. He's going to push through this palisade pretty quickly with a group of crossbows. Miguel keeping him honest, though, on top of that hill with a couple of crossbows. I like Miguel's position. He's on top of that hill. He's being as annoying as he can, reinforcing to try to fight Fire. Try to fight Fire with Fire. Anyway, back at home, Fire's somewhat safe. This house will eventually go down, but the blue player is going to add in more and more crossbows, and he will defend from a hill as well. So both guys playing a pretty clean game so far. This area of the map for Miguel is really sketchy. He's going to try to keep taking gold there for the moment. Try to keep a couple crossbows in the mix. Ooh, nice little pincer coming from the red player. He's got to be careful, but he's going to get on both sides of Fire here. Overwhelm him with superior numbers. Fire will grab a villager or two. 2 villagers. Miguel is going to lose 2 vills there. I don't think he needed to. But nonetheless, he will clean up Fire's crossbows for relatively cheap. Miguel will have 18 military to Fire's 9. He'll also have 42 villagers. I'm sorry, he'll also have 52 villagers and 3 TCs. So Miguel playing another really clean game so far. He's out ahead of his opponent. He's got his 3rd TC down quite a bit earlier. He's got a bigger army. He's got +2/+1, as does his opponent. It's looking pretty darn good, though, for the red player. Fire's going to have to add in a defensive siege workshop. Miguel, for now, is not going to have to do that. He's going to add in a university, grab ballistics, and hopefully for his sake, do pretty well in the next engagement. Wheelbarrow coming in for Miguel a little bit later than his opponent Fire. 3 TCs for both guys. The difference right now is a couple of villagers, a couple of crossbows, and a siege workshop instead of a university. So there you have it. There you have it. I think we can speed this one up just a fraction and see how this goes. Usually, what you're trying to do at this point in the game is to just establish a little bit of an economic advantage over your opponent so you can beat him to the Imperial Age and pump out those sweet, juicy Eagle Warriors. Ballistics coming for Miguel. He's going to continue to push his advantage. Has a big military advantage over Fire. Not quite as much resource in the bank, but neither player really has much to boast about in the resource department. It's going to be a tough fight for Fire. Although he's on top of the hill, Miguel can kind of pick and poke and move around, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and his ballistics will allow him to clean up a lot of Fire's crossbows while they retreat. Fire will have a defensive mangonel for now. He looks to be maybe slowing down crossbowman production a bit. Just 6 military units at the moment. Here we go. Could be an important part of the game. Good mangonel shot or two from Fire could maybe even up the score. Right now, 540 point advantage for the blue player. We'll see. Miguel again killing farms. Miguel loves killing farms. I like it. Take what your opponent gives you, I guess. Going to go ahead and shoot those vegetables until they light on fire, and then until the farm disappears, just like real life. Anyway, for the moment, yeah, the red player is just being a little bit patient. He's going to walk away from a double mangonel fight. He will be 5 villagers ahead of Fire, not as many as you might think. Handcart coming for Miguel. 3 TCs for both guys. 20 military versus 7 is really the big story at the moment. Siege Workshop coming on the front for the red player, and let's see how this goes. We will work our way through this one at an elevated pace. Looks like we're going to see Fire move pretty heavily onto stone, thinking about a castle in defense. Where is a good spot for a castle? I don't know. A couple of units being snuck out the top of the map here from the blue player. Unfortunately, he's going to immediately lose one of those villagers. Wolf coming in to get into the fray. I don't think he's going to get much done. Another vill goes down for the blue player, and Miguel here is just in the right place at the right time. Fire will sneak a couple crossbows to the top of the map, but for now, not very threatening for the blue player. Miguel's going to take down that palisade and maybe walk right in between these ranges. Got to be really careful, though. 2 mangonels lurking very, very close. Imperial Age is coming for Miguel Zin. Miguel will go imp before Fire here. He's continuing to harass the eco of the blue player, and this is going to be a really tough game for Fire to win. Villager counts are similar. Fire's going to click up soon. Miguel's going to have about, maybe 30 second, maybe a 1 minute advantage, but he's going to start adding in barracks here. And we are going to see eagles spammed up the wazoo. Fire may be going to build that castle and build some jaguars to counter his opponent's eagles. I guess that might be something we see soon. Pretty heavily on stone at the moment. Miguel not on stone at all. Well, we'll see how this goes. There's 25 units on the field for the red player. Those are all crossbows. There are 8 units for Fire. Oh, sweet Jesus. Mangonels are just going ham on a couple of crossbows right now. What is going on with Miguel? Miguel stands, but he does not deliver. He's going to take several mangonel shots to the face. To the face, son. He's going to kill 2 mangonels, but at the expense of quite a few crossbows and quite a bit of HP. I think Miguel lost 6 or 8 crossbows there, and the remaining ones here are all really weak. Pretty good trade, I would say, for the blue player, keeping himself safe while he transitions to the Imperial Age. Miguel will get there first. Chainmail armor on the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 barracks on the way. The red eco is in great shape. He's got 2 really nice gold piles that he's absolutely saturated on. Going to be working hard to pump up his gold eco to pump out eagles. Already starting to add in eagles here and there. At least 1 eagle. Start producing those units from 6 barracks now. Chainmail is in. We're going to see elite eagles relatively soon. Fire on the other side is going to drop 2 castles and try to defend eagle spam with, drumroll please, jaguars. Jaguars versus eagles is a pretty easy fight. Jaguars are, they're just better than eagles are hand in hand. They counter them pretty nicely. But the problem is always numbers. It's really hard to, and jaguars are really not good at fighting crossbows. Miguel, they're getting some really great trades, able to kill, I think, 3 jaguars there with his last couple of crossbows. He's going to kill a 4th. Fire's throwing away his most important unit right now, just trying to clean up some crossbows that are not that threatening. This is going to be tough. Needs a lot more jaguars on the field. Just one castle for Fire for now. Second castle on the way. Imperial Age on the way, but oh god, this could be catastrophic. This castle has to go up. Blue player's castle's on 93%. He's going to lose, oh my god, 6 villagers there. He's going to lose 7 villagers, maybe 8. Oh no. Oh god. That castle was pivotal not only to defend that part of the eco, but it's pivotal to be able to crank out the jaguars in time. Oh god. Castle will go up, but at the expense of probably a dozen villagers. Not good at all. No bueno, my friend. Eagle's starting to come forward. Elite Eagle Warrior upgrade is on the way. The red player here has played a really nice, clean game. There's just a few eagles out on the field. I'm sorry, jaguars on the field for Fire, and he's just not going to be able to defend this. Just don't see any good way to defend it. There is a hole in this wall in between the ranges, but looks like for now Miguel will poke his way through the houses. On the top here, Fire's got to have something really tricky up his sleeve really soon. Continuing to beef up those jaguars, but I only see 4 of them on the map. It's going to be a really tough battle. Miguel keeping a couple of those crossbows alive, just absolutely pivotal to this fight. Jaguars not good at all against crossbows. Looks like the Eagle Warriors will find the hole in that wall. Monk's starting to come up from Fire, but it's really going to be a tough game for him now. Miguel starting to push through, adding in a siege workshop on the front. Gonna start bringing in some mangonels into the fight. And this is the point of the game where you just say, what in the heck am I supposed to do? Well, what you're supposed to do is start building jaguars. And for now, we will see if Fire's got enough. He's going to chase those eagles away. Eagles are very wisely not going to take that fight right off the bat. But man, here they go. Fire's going in with the jaguars. Meet shield of eagles. They're going to die quickly, but lots of crossbows in here from Miguel. Getting in quite a few shots. In the end, +4 defense on those jags versus arrows might be enough to win this fight. That was an incredibly important fight on the front there for the blue player. Fire's going to get a mangonel for his troubles. He's going to kill a couple more Eagle Warriors. And for now, he's going to be really safe. I shouldn't say really safe. It's all relative. One thing that's a bit annoying for Fire is that this castle was immediately discovered by his opponent. 84 villagers for the blue player, and look at this. Oh boy, the Eagle Warriors are rolling in. Jaguars are going to get there first. They're going to put some heat on these villagers, but the numbers seem to be pretty massively in the favor of the red player here. Just so many eagles chasing down villagers. More and more castles from Fire. He needs as many castles as he can get to keep popping out jaguars. He's still way behind on the military numbers. 44 units for the red player. Just 13 for the blue player, but he's got 13 really good counters. If he can somehow keep himself safe for a few more minutes, he might have a chance. Arbalest coming in for Miguel. Capped Ram coming in. So Miguel's going to continue to upgrade a counter to those jaguars. Arbalests. Arbs coming in, Capped Ram coming in, Blast Furnace just completed. Fire will lose several more villagers here and be 15 villagers behind, but probably more importantly, 30 military behind his opponent. Miguel builds a castle. Where is your castle, Miguel? Miguel just dropping a castle there on top of the hill. Nice location to guard against raiding. He's pretty heavily onto stone. Could build more castles here in the not-so-distant future. Miguel trying to squeeze Fire out of this game and win this series 3-1. Garland Wars is on the way, baby. Gotta love you some Garland Wars, right? We'll see. For now, we're going to wait for a big engagement. Capped Ram's coming in aplenty. 3 siege workshops on the front. The ram train is a-coming. It is ready to leave the station. Not sure how many ARBs there are on the field right now, but wherever they are, they'd be really useful in this upcoming fight. They would be really useful against these Jags in this upcoming fight. Fire pumping out a couple Eagles of his own, but not too many. Just trying to do some raiding on his opponent, Miguel. Miguel will go ahead and raid this top TC. keeping fire below the 90 villager mark for the entire game so far. Pretty good rating, pretty good job from the red player to take over the gold. Gold and stone, pretty well protected here by the red villagers, the red eagles, if you will. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say Miguel's in a good spot, that's all. Only 4 arbs. Interesting that he went with that upgrade, and I just haven't seen many produced. Yeah, here we go. Double range arbalest production coming. We'll see. We'll see. Engagement is coming soon to a theater near you. Siege ram will come in, and it won't be long until this game comes to a conclusion. Fire's going to keep adding in barracks here. Going to start adding in a bunch of eagles of his own. Going to try to build an army now that Miguel's given him a second to breathe. The problem is Miguel's been building, oh man, eagles up the wazoo this entire time. We're going to see about 12 rams or so coming forward. Beefy siege rams. We've got a couple of arbs here. Not as many as you'd want, but probably maybe enough. Huge fight on the front. Those rams are going to just head straight in and take on this castle. Castle seems like it should be doomed. Fight in the middle, though, is more important. Blue player sending in jaguars, but the arbs in the back here using the eagles as a nice meat shield. And Fire's going to resign again without GGing out of this game. So we'll see a set of 4 games here, and we'll see Miguel win 3 of them. Miguel winning 3 out of 4 over Fire. And at least this segment of the battle for Brazil will go to Miguel. We'll have to do some games with Degao later on, with Riet later on. But really nice ram push there at the end to finish it off. But this game was won in the Castle Age. You have to build those crossbows in Castle Age to keep your opponent honest. Miguel won many of those engagements. He was able to grab villagers. He was able to build his own eco faster than Fire could. Got to Imperial Age first, kept those crossbows alive, killed a lot of Jaguar warriors from Fire with those couple of crossbows, which were eventually arbalests, and got the win. There you go, guys. Miguel is the winner of this series. Really nice set of games from Miguel. Very surprising game number 2 outcome. If you didn't see that game, I would check that one out. But yeah, in the end, just a really solid set of 1v1 games from Miguel. A guy who I think of as a team game specialist, one of the best team game players around. But hey, he can really hold his weight as well in 1v1. He'll get the win in this series. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm Killer B. Let me know what's on your mind. Feel free to drop a comment on this video. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch you soon, probably with some classic game content. Yeah, let me know what you're thinking about the channel. Anyway, by now there should be a suggested game here in the bottom right corner. Check that out if you want to. You can subscribe as well. But comments are probably more important. Let me know what's on your mind. How can I improve this channel? Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed this set of 4. I'll catch you all on the next game. Mucho love. Au revoir.